Congratulations, guys. Welcome to your new home.
Thank you.
We're getting super close to closing.
We're so excited.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. I just want to tell you a little bit what we're going to do today. Okay? We're going to go over some of the features in your home. We're going to explain to you some maintenance stuff. We're going to explain to you some warranty procedures, how to get a hold of us, and we'll get a chance to walk around. I'm going to show you how a few things operate, and then we'll give you a chance to look around your house, make sure there's no punch items or anything that needs to be completed before you guys close.
Perfect.
That sound good?
Mm-hmm. Sounds
Awesome.
good.
All right. Well, I love to start with the sod and lawn care instructions because you guys just walked by your new yard.
Mm-hmm.
You do see that it's still got some stripes in it. It's not perfect yet. This really lays out some general care for your yard. One of the most important things is watering your yard. Okay. This Bermuda grass loves to have the equivalent of about an inch of rain per week. Okay. So if God gives us that this week, you guys don't need to put any on. All right. And you can just adjust from there. And we're going to be leaving you a hose and sprinkler with
You'll
your
take
house
care
too.
of that.
I'll do
That's
it.
I was looking at him the whole time.
I
'cause I knew this
appreciate
was his job. Yep. There's also some instructions for fertilizing. Mowing. Bermuda grass does like to be about 3 inches tall, so you can keep it a little bit higher, and it's a natural. That'll naturally keep the weeds down just a little bit. All right.
Okay.
On the back side, there's more stuff about weed control, disease, and insects. And the shortest paragraph here that says patience, that's probably the most important one. I can promise you that your yard will not be perfect this year. Okay, it does take a couple years. You kind of get out of it what you put into it. It's unfortunately your sod can't be warranted because we don't know what's going to happen after we leave. You guys, don't ever water it or
Right.
put Roundup on it, whatever happens,
Okay.
right? So it's not under warranty. So we want to make sure we're giving you a good product to start with, and then we're giving you good instructions to take care of it.
Okay.
Guys, have any questions about that? Awesome, easy. I'll put this down. This pamphlet here just covers some general carpet care guidelines, and on this page there is some manufacturer warranty stuff. There's a couple of sort of homemade recipes for particular stains that might happen on your carpet.
Oh.
People also love to pull off recipes or things that they find online or on Pinterest. I always just ask people to make sure that they do maybe check in a closet in the back corner, inconspicuous spot. Make sure we don't get a big giant pink stain from our internet recipe.
Okay.
All right. So,
Perfect.
any questions about that?
Mhm.
Awesome. So this is our customer service welcome package, and I'm not going to bore you guys with reading through the whole thing, but I have a few pages that I do like to hit on. One of them is how to get a hold of us. So if you do have a warranty issue and your house, we try our best to make it perfect, but we definitely have things that pop up, and that's perfectly normal. We want to make sure it's really easy for you guys to get a hold of us. Okay. So emailing us is a great way. Using our website here. You can even complete the customer service request form, which is in that folder, and fax it in. All right, if it's
Do people still
1985.
do that?
No, they do not. And that's our telephone number. I'm also going to be leaving you guys this refrigerator magnet.
Oh, okay.
So when you get your refrigerator in here, stick that thing on here. It's a great way to get a hold of us.
Okay.
And just like as you guys have been going through your building process, really, if you find your field manager, myself, your sales pro, anybody in Roush Coleman, we're going to be able to guide you to the right spot and make sure that your warranty stuff gets taken care of.
Okay.
And none of us have a problem with that. It's something we enjoy doing. All right?
Okay.
Awesome. One of the other pages here is what to expect from us. So when you call our warranty hotline, you should expect to hear back from us within 24 business hours. Okay? And then we'll figure out what you got going on, and we're going to assign a trade partner to that. We want them to call you and set up an appointment at your convenience within 48 hours. Okay? Because we really expect most of our warranties to be open and closed again within 5 days.
Oh.
Sometimes things take a little longer than that, but for the most part, we want them to be closed up quickly. All right?
Good.
So your appliances that are in here are not actually covered by Roush Coleman warranty or the 210 warranty. They're just covered right by the manufacturer. Okay? There's going to be some cards in the drawer over here to fill out for your warranty on that. You can use this telephone number here, and all your appliances were bought just up the road at Metro Appliances.
Okay.
So our warranty does cover some emergency service. And before you go calling the emergency line and getting somebody out here to change the light bulb at 2 o'clock in the morning, okay? If that happens, you can probably expect to pay some charges for that, right? So I want to make sure you guys understand what an emergency is,
Okay.
all right? So a total loss of heat in the house when it's 45 degrees or colder outside, that's definitely an emergency, right? A total loss of electricity in the house, assuming it's not a wider power outage, all right? A plumbing leak that requires you to shut the entire house off on the valve that I'll show you where that's located in just a little bit. All of those things are considered an emergency, and you can get somebody out here in the middle of the night for that.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. This is one of the last pages on here. Our Kimball Mechanical did all the mechanical stuff, the heating, the electrical, and the plumbing in your house, and that's their numbers there, and they are also on this emergency sticker I gave you as well.
Okay, good.
All right. And then, so at the back of this book, it does have some frequently asked questions. All right, if you guys ever want some good reading material late at night, it's in here. All right. And then these next few pages talk about some Roush Coleman, some maintenance checklist stuff. It's not stuff that's under warranty, but it's stuff that we just we put this list together to help you guys keep your home looking nice for the long term. All right. It's broke down monthly, quarterly, seasonally, and annually. There's a nice little checklist, so I encourage you guys to just check that out in your free time. It's good stuff. If you ever have any questions about that, you can always get a hold of myself or your sales pro. All right.
It's a good list for you too.
It
It
is.
is. Excellent. Any questions so far?
One quick question. I've heard from people to put in a ticket immediately, or I've also heard of the 1-year ticket where you kind of put everything in at once. How do
Sure.
y'all prefer that?
Well, that's a great question. Like I said, all those emergency things that we laid out, obviously we don't want you to be in the middle of the winter with no heat. Okay, so you call that in right away. All right.
Yes.
And all of our warranty issues, if you have something pop up, if you have 17 things pop up, okay, we hope that doesn't happen, right? But we want you to get a hold of us and let us correct those things as quickly as possible, okay? The 1 year that you're talking about, we do have against cracks, and as the house kind of seats in, you're going to get some settling, you're going to get some joints opening up around windows, drywall corners, that kind of stuff. We do come back and fix those, but we only do it one time in your first year. So what we encourage you guys to do is just make a list. Don't get mad about those cracks, those are perfectly normal, okay, as the house settles in. A really good rule of thumb is that when you start waking up with a dry throat in the morning from the weather changing, you're going to start seeing your house dry out and some of those cracks form, okay? As the spring comes back and it gets humid again, you're going to see those cracks close up. But anything that doesn't go away, you wait till towards the end of the year, and we'll come in and we'll get them all taken care of for you.
Okay, that's good.
Makes sense?
Awesome.
All right. But that's the only thing that we want you waiting for. Any other problems, definitely get a hold of us right away.
Okay.
Okay? Any questions about that? Any more questions, I should say?
No.
Awesome. I'm just going to cover this real quick. So this is full legal speak, but this is our 210 warranty, okay? And this is actually through an outside company, right? Outside of Roush Coleman. It's almost like an insurance policy, okay? If we go out of business tomorrow, we've been around for 62 years, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
But if that did happen, your house would still be covered up to 10 years, okay? And if you guys sell your house before that 10 years is up, that's transferable to another buyer, all right? So there's some value in that, definitely, okay? This is full of legal speak and lots of stuff in here, and I'd be happy to go through anything you want me to on it, all right? But I do dog ear just a couple pages I'd like to touch on to make sure you guys kind of understand that. One, this first year, this is that workmanship warranty, and that's the stuff that Roush Coleman covers, and that's really a lot of things that are going to pop up or could pop up inside the house. Almost anything is going to end up being covered under warranty from us, okay? Starting in your second year, that's why this is called 210 warranty, we start focusing on this company taking care of the warranty stuff, okay? And so right away in the second year, we start talking about the systems, all that stuff that's buried behind the walls, your HVAC, your wiring, that kind of stuff, having those problems. Those are covered, okay? There is one caveat with that. In order to keep covering your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, they ask you to make sure you service that once a year by a licensed contractor, okay? It's a really good idea anyway at the beginning of the heating season. A lot of companies will have ads on TV, they'll run specials, you can get a pretty good price on it. It's a really good idea for safety and to keep that system running well anyway. So, make sense? Awesome. And then your house is covered all the way up to 10 years for kind of the nuts and bolts, right? The foundation, the footings, the main structure of the house. And that's covered up to all the way up to the value that you paid for the house, okay? So if they had to buy one back from you, they would do that,
Awesome.
okay? So you should feel good.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome. And then I also just like to dog ear this page here. It's actually two. And it's just an index, okay? So if you guys ever have questions about, hey, is this covered? How is it covered? What's covered about it, right? You can simply go to this page, look it up, and find your page to get a little more information on it.
Okay,
Make sense?
that's nice.
Great, great. All right, I'm gonna move on.
Moving on.
All right, this list might look just a little bit intimidating, but it's not too bad, okay? I kind of shoot through here fast. I'll try to give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions, and by all means, if you want to stop me, just go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We already talked about your landscaping a little bit outside. When we go outside, we'll look at your yard and drainage. We'll talk about the fact that we don't want any standing water. After 24 hours of a rain event, we don't want any standing water within the first 10 feet of your house. And from 10 to 20 feet out, we get about 48 hours to make sure that all goes away. And after that, if you're still having standing water, then we want to come back and address that issue, all right? But we do got to give it a little bit of time to
Okay.
move on, right? We already talked about your sod, and your shrubs and trees are the same way. Those are living things. They need some water and care. Makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I also told you I'll be leaving you a hose and sprinkler in your garage.
Okay.
Okay. Good news is, Tanner, the yard won't grow real fast at first year, so you won't have to mow it a whole lot, all right?
Thank goodness.
Moving on to the exterior of your house. I'm going to show you the water valves, the sewer cleanouts, the control, the boxes, all that stuff. We're going to take when we take a look around the
Okay.
house, all right? Your driveways, sidewalks, and patios. So there's a couple kinds of cement, guys. There's cement that's already broke, and there's cement that's going to break, all right? Now, you see your sidewalk, your driveway has all those lines cut in it. Those are called control joints, all right? And we cut those to try to control that cracking that naturally occurs from shrinking and expanding of the concrete. We try to get it to break on those lines. Usually it does, but sometimes it will go off a little bit, okay? And unfortunately, that's not covered by warranty because it's a pretty natural process. What we do cover is if we get an elevation change in that break of a 1/4 inch or about the thickness of a pencil, or the gap opens up to that thickness of the pencil. That we call that a system failure, and we're going to come out and warranty that. But minor cracks, you guys can always buy sealers, a few things like that to kind of mitigate those cracks. Make sure ice and water can't get down in there, and you really won't have a problem with them.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome. So your brick. A lot of people, when they're walking up to their house, will see those few spots at the bottom and think that we missed a little bit of mortar on there, right? You guys have probably seen those already.
Mm-hmm.
Those are actually weep holes. We put those in there to let water that does get behind the brick and your siding. Neither one of those are actually waterproof. That wrap that we put on your house that you saw at your drywall walk, that's the waterproof envelope of the house, okay?
Oh, okay.
So we want those to drain water. So don't fill them up with caulk, okay? If bugs move in there, evict them, okay? And one of the common ways that people plug those without noticing is by blowing their grass clippings back into the house, okay? So make sure your first few swipes around the yard are blowing all those grass clippings out,
Oh, okay.
all right?
Mm-hmm.
That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Your vinyl siding is really kind of maintenance-free. One thing that it does like is a bath every once in a while. So a power wash or just a scrub down, especially on the north side of your house and here in Arkansas, that will get some stuff on it. But a little bath will keep it looking great for a long time.
Okay.
All right. You guys don't have a fence on this yard. We also do not have a gas meter. Your air conditioning unit out there, though, if you guys aren't familiar with the heat pump system, that AC unit is going to run year-round. Okay, it's going to run when the air conditioning's on, obviously, and it's going to also run when the heat pump is on in the winter. All right, so that means no covers, okay, for the winter or the fall, and that means all year round we got to make sure we keep that thing clean and free of debris, and that we don't kind of pile our stuff up around it. It needs some room to get air flowing through it. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Great. All right, you guys' roof is a 25-year guaranteed 3-cab shingle. All right. Of course, that guarantee starts prorating from the manufacturer as soon as you close on the home. As you get more use out of it, they'll pay you less for it. And that's just for manufacturer's defects. All right. If we had a really strong storm or hail, something like that, your homeowner's insurance is going to cover that. Okay. And in that first year, if you happen to have shingles that do blow off or crease up, obviously you can give us a call and we're gonna fix that. Okay. Those shingles do get about a year to settle down and seat in so they won't just blow up in light winds, okay? So we want to make sure the first year you're going to see that a little bit, and that's perfectly normal. Like I said, we don't want them blowing off or creasing over, but a little bit of lifting is okay in that first year, but they do get that amount of time to settle down.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you your hose bibs when we go out the house. There's a couple of them. They are frost free, so they're going to shut the water off about 12 inches inside the house. That does not work if there's a hose on there or if they're left dripping. Okay, they can freeze then. So you guys want to just keep an eye on the weather. If it's going to get close to freezing at nights, you want to make sure your hoses, that kind of stuff, is disconnected and they're shut off. And if it happens to get really, really cold, you always can put covers on there that you can get from any home store. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Any questions so far, guys?
Not yet.
No.
All right, moving on to your garage then. Your overhead door, those locks, that stuff does require some lubrication. Nice thing about a garage door is it'll start squealing at you when it needs some. All right, a good maybe $6 can of thick grease, spray that on there is a great way to keep that operating good. It really usually takes about once a year is it. So they're pretty easy. All right. I'm going to show you other GFIC locations in the house, and the GFICs are ground fault outlets. All right. When they pop, we get a little red light on there, right? And those are to protect us, and they're put everywhere in a wet location. And that includes the one in the garage, all right? We like to mention that one specifically because people like to put refrigerators and deep freezers out there, right? And stick a lot of groceries and meat in there. It's a really bad idea to put that appliance on that circuit, okay? Because it can pop in the middle of the night for lots of reasons, and you might not know about it until it's too late,
Yeah.
all right? Your panel has a ton of extra room to put a dedicated circuit on or to replace that GFI with a regular outlet. So, and consult with a licensed electrician for that. It's not a huge cost at all.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yep.
Great. Your attic access is out in that garage. Moving to the exterior, finishing the paint. So your exterior doors are painted with an exterior grade latex paint. It will not last forever. It'll need a little washing and cleaning. It will need some repainting. Just letting you know that. So keys. You guys are going to get keys for your house at closing. And right now, me and lots of other people have keys to your guys' house. All right. We have what's called builder's locks in these houses. So when you guys get your keys, stick them in that lock, operate it about 4 or 5 times. And don't forget the back door. Everyone forgets that one. If you do that, operate it 4 or 5 times, it drops a temporary set of pins out and it locks all of us out.
Oh.
All right? And your house is secure for you.
Oh, good, okay.
All right? And all the doors, all the exterior doors, front, back, and the garage have adjustable thresholds on them as well. You can pop some covers off. You can use a straight screwdriver to raise and lower those just a little bit. Because in the hot summer sun, that door will actually get a little bit taller when it heats up. And in the winter, believe it or not, it'll shrink just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're seeing some light underneath the door, or it's closing too hard or too easy, you can adjust that just a little bit.
Oh,
All right?
yeah.
Great. All right, window operation. When we go walk around the house, I'm going to show you how those things operate, an easy way for Tanner to be able to open up and clean all the windows on the house.
Exactly.
All
Wow.
right?
There we go.
Electrical. Again, we're going to walk around the garage. I'm going to show you electrical box. Everything's clearly marked, and I'm going to show you all the shutoffs on that. 3-way switches are anywhere we have 2 switches that operate one light, like in the hallways. They both have those. We like to mention that switch because it's a little less reliable than a regular single pole switch. All right. Largely, you can just kind of reset one or the other and make those work again. But if they're acting up too much, give us a call. All right. Smoke detectors. Operation and maintenance. Well, for one, the smoke detectors are all tied together and they're battery backup. Okay. So when Tanner sets off the cooking timer over there,
Mhm.
and the whole house will go off. All right, and you'll know that he's burning supper.
Yes.
All right.
What is this?
It's,
It's tearing into me.
no,
Holy
it's
cow.
well. I talked to her on the phone. She told me what you were like.
That's right.
You can wave the towel in front of that one. It's going to shut them all off.
Yeah.
All right. It's a great idea to change your batteries twice a year when you change the clocks. And smoke detectors, they have about a 10-year lifespan. So when you guys have been here a full decade, spend a couple bucks, tear those out and replace them.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Do they have carbon monoxide in them also?
That's a great question. All the bedrooms have a smoke alarm only in them, and the hallways have a CO and smoke detector combination.
Okay.
As for code. Great question. On the second half of the list is when I pick on Stephanie.
Okay, awesome. Go for it.
Plumbing. Outside in your garage, I'm going to show you the pressure valve where we can adjust the pressure in the house. We really think it's a great idea to have a licensed plumber do that. Okay, right now we set it at between 70 and 75 psi. When we start crossing that 85 PSI, we start putting a lot of undue pressure on our fixtures and our connections inside the walls. So if you do want to adjust that, you should really have a plumber do it. If you're finding low pressure at any one fixture, a lot of times it's aerators, those kind of things that just get plugged up with sediment in the city's lines.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm going to show you the cutoff valve locations. We've all had low flow toilets for I think over 20 years now. They're just kind of code. I'll show you some water heater maintenance and operation. For the most part, if you want hot water, you turn it on and hot water comes out. It's pretty low
Great.
maintenance, all right? But I will show you a couple tricks to make that thing last a little longer, all right? Your ice maker box is right around the corner. We have them in all of our houses. When they come deliver your refrigerator, they'll hook that right up for you.
Okay.
All right. All right. I like to go over the kitchen cabinets and the bathroom cabinets at the same time because in your house they're both the same materials, tops and the cabinets. They are covered under your 1-year warranty. Dings and scratches, those kind of things, we typically use like a stain pen that we get at Lowe's or any home store to touch up any little defects. But for the most part, they're not too much of a problem. The laminate tops are really easy to clean. Take a multitude of chemicals that all work on them. So. We already talked about your appliances, however, they're not covered under Roush Coleman's warranty, they're manufacturer only. Metro Appliances does a really excellent job. They have a couple outside companies that work with us. Their warranty service is excellent.
Okay.
All right, your garbage disposal. Underneath your sink, there is a keyed tool that's taped onto there, and you can actually turn this thing manually if anything were ever to get jammed up in there. And also there's a little red button underneath there. If it did get jammed up and it pops that, it's like a heat reset. You can just reset that top right.
I'm gonna go see that.
Absolutely.
Since that's my side of the list. Okay, that one right there.
That one right there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Easy?
Mm-hmm.
All right. At my house, we just clean those things by chopping up a half a lemon. Works really good. And you can always refresh the blades a little bit if you use it a lot by putting some ice down there and grinding it out.
Oh, good to know.
All right. Any other questions about your area?
No,
All right.
throw some lemons in it.
Absolutely. All right, your HVAC system, I'll give you a little bit of a lesson on your thermostat. For the most part, they're pretty easy, but I got one little trick I'd like to show you guys.
Okay.
All right. As far as interior and exterior maintenance, really it's going to be changing your filters out. We recommend that you do that once a month, and that is back in that monthly checklist.
Okay.
And we're going to come do the first one for you for free, and I'll explain that to you
Okay.
later. All right. And then outside maintenance is really keeping that outside unit free of debris, clean, so it can pull air through it. All right. All right. Your dryer vents. It's a really good idea, especially at least once a year, especially the hose hooked onto your dryer, to clean that out and just to check that pipe, make sure that stuff is clean and keep everything operating well. Okay. All right. I missed this part here. Your bathrooms and the master bedroom both have privacy locks on them. Okay, it doesn't require any kind of special key. A fingernail, a coin, anything like that will operate that. All right. The exhaust fans in the bathroom. It's a really good idea to make sure you run that when you're taking a shower or a bath, and then to keep it running for about 10 minutes afterwards to get all that excess moisture out of there. It'll really keep your bathroom cleaner and keep everything looking a lot nicer there. All right.
Good.
Wonderful. Your HVAC system, like I mentioned before too, we want to make sure that we're servicing that annually by licensed contractor. Okay, just kind of keeping your receipts on that stuff so you got it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Interior paint. So we used to leave these old buckets of half-used paint, right? We got a lot better system for you guys now. All right. We have a national account with Sherwin-Williams. So our paint is actually mixed right at the factory that we originally put in your house. There's some good reading material in here, some ideas for Tanner to do some painting projects for you.
I don't know if you want that.
And then this talks about letting color inspire you.
Oh,
This
yeah.
talks about Roush Coleman and their relationship with Sherwin-Williams a little bit. All right, but this is the one we really want to show you, the one with the orange on top. All right, and I've written the color of your walls on here. You can use this as a coupon for $50 off a purchase, $50 or more for anything you want. Or you can just take this to any Sherwin-Williams location and get a free gallon of our paint.
Cool.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to buy it online, there's just a little code you scratch off there, and you can get anything you want offline.
Perfect.
All right.
That's nice. I like
Yeah.
that.
Just keep hold that orange one, all right?
Okay.
Perfect. Floor coverings. We already talked about your carpet a little bit. Your house has vinyl. This is actually a really easy product to take care of and clean. Gouges and tears, that's something we want to make sure there's none of them there today before you close, because we won't warranty those later. You know, unfortunately, something, even when you're moving in, if it gets gouged or scratched, we can't cover that. So we want to make sure that we're giving you a perfect product today.
Okay.
All right. For the most part, though, it can be repaired pretty well. It can be cleaned very easily. The only thing I do recommend to people is never put any nail polish remover or acetone on there. It will take the color off right away.
Okay, that makes sense.
No tile in the house, so we won't worry about that. And no fireplace. You guys have any questions about any of this stuff?
Not so far,
No.
do you?
I'm good.
Great. All right. Well, ultimately, I'm going to have you guys sign this, and I also want to make sure that I tell you that I'm going to have you initial down here to make sure you guys know that we want you to have the utilities turned into your guys' names within about 3 business days after you close.
Okay,
Okay? That makes sense?
totally.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you guys, and we're going to go take a walk around the house and look at a few things.
Sounds good.
Great. All right, so one of the maintenance items that you want to make sure you hit every month is just
Yes.
changing your furnace filter. And
Okay.
it's as simple as this, pushing those 2 knobs out, just kind of pulling this out, and you can pull that out and change it, all right?
Okay.
And these are, this one in particular is a 20 by 25 by 1. It's a really common, easy size to find. You can even get them right at the grocery
But you're
store.
gonna come do the first one.
I'm gonna do the first one for free. I'm gonna check up on you, make sure you're doing good.
Okay.
And I'm gonna mention something called an Avid survey that we're gonna touch on again a little bit later, all
okay.
right? All right, and then the other thing, guys, is your thermostat. And I don't want to insult your intelligence here, all right? Cool is cool, off is off, and heat is heat, right? All right, but this one right here that says EMER, that stands for emergency, all right? In your furnace, it has a 15,000 watt electric heater in it, all right? In case something happens to your heat pump outside, or we have any other issues, you can turn it to emergency and you can use that to heat. But as you can imagine, that's really costly on your energy bills. We just wanted to use that temporarily until we get somebody out here to look at your heat pump, all right?
Okay.
And also, unfortunately, because people are a little bit impatient sometimes, if you try to operate this thing when it's on heat and you want to raise the temperature in the house by say 5 or 6 degrees, anytime you raise it and ask it to go up by 3 or more degrees, it automatically kicks on the heat pump and the external electric heat, okay? So that can cost a little bit more money. So just a little bit more efficient way to operate it is to just go up 2 degrees at a time,
Oh, okay.
all right? And that'll save you a little bit of money on the energy bills.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for that.
Any
too.
questions there? All right, let's
Got
go
it.
out to the garage, guys.
All right.
All right, guys, so we're gonna show you just a couple of maintenance items with your water heater and how to operate it really well, okay? First, we're gonna come over here. This is that pressure regulator I talked about before that I did recommend that you only change with the plumber, okay? That's where that's at right
Oh,
there,
okay.
all right? And this is the shut off to the entire house, all right? And these are just quarter turn valves, okay? So when we turn it like that and it's crossing the pipe, that's off, all right? So if you guys have a major leak or something like that happens, if you ever want to just shut it off, turn it to across the pipe, okay? When you turn it on so it's in line, all your water's on again,
Okay.
all right?
Easy.
With your water heater, so this is a 40-gallon unit, okay? It is electric. If you guys want to adjust the temperature, right now it comes from the factory settings at about 120 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? There is an element under this panel and this panel. You can just take out one Phillips screw each and you can adjust that temperature on there. There's a small, easy to read dial. It just takes like a straight screwdriver or a coin to adjust that temperature, okay? And behind this top one, there's actually a little red reset button. And it's just like that one that was on your garbage disposal, okay? If it ever overheated or had an issue in there, you can pop that one out,
Okay.
If you're ever having problems and not having hot water, this is a great spot to check here. You want to check that little button. If you push it and it clicks, that was your problem, all right? And it isn't uncommon for that to happen, but it shouldn't happen a lot either. So if it is, make sure you give us a call, all right? Again, if you're still out of hot water and it wasn't that, we want to go over to that electrical panel, okay? So let's go over there and take a look at that.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right, so now we're at your electrical distribution panel.
Okay.
Down here we have a 200 amp main breaker that'll shut off power to the entire house. Okay? And all the rest of the panels, and you can see up here, is all just room for expansion if you ever wanted to add anything. Alright? All these numbers here correlate with the same numbers on the sticker and tell you exactly what it is. Everything is very clearly labeled and marked. Alright?
Perfect.
I do want to show you a few things. All the breakers, not all of them have these buttons, but we do have some arc fault or ground fault breakers. And I'm just going to pop one of them here, okay? And I'm going to show you what happens if you ever do have one pop. You can see that it can be a little hard to see if they're off, right?
Yeah.
And if you just try to turn it back on, it won't go.
Okay.
So if that ever happens to you, you want to make sure you turn it all the way off and then all the way back on, and that
Okay.
should fix your problem.
Okay.
All right?
Easy.
Any questions in here?
Mm-hmm.
Great, let's go outside.
All right.
All right, so you got a chance to see your whole home today?
Yeah,
we got a chance to look through it?
excited, yeah.
Awesome, super glad you're excited.
Yeah.
I do want to mention one more thing before I send you guys on your way.
Okay.
We're going to be sending out what's called an Avid survey about a month after you close, okay? And it's a national company that we hire to make sure we're doing a good job, all right? So what I want to ask you is I want you to make sure you take time to fill that out for us, please,
Okay.
okay? And we're looking for all 6s on this survey, all right? To us, a 5 is a failing answer. So if I haven't earned a 6 from you when you go to fill that out, please stop, give me a call, and give me a chance to fix that for you, okay?
Okay.
Other than that, we're hoping we get a great survey. We're really happy you're here. We want to welcome you to our family.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.